Hello students, this is Sumit Kumar, Assistant Professor, BB Department, Marwari College, Ranchi. Dear students, in the last lecture, we have completed the details about World Bank, which is one of the financial institution established for promotion of international trade. In the present video lecture, which is representative by 2 slides, is about IMF, which is also one of the important international financial institution. The full form of IMF is International Monetary Fund. It is an independent international organization which promotes world's economic stability and growth, and there are more than 185 plus member nations. The member countries provide capital through quota subscriptions. IMF provides members with macroeconomic policy advice. It also supports member nations when they are facing balance of payment problems and disequilibrium of balance of payments. It provides technical assistance and training to member nations. It is permanently associated with United Nations and it is a permanent observer at UN. It is important to note down that it is created through Articles of Agreement in Bretton Woods, New Hampshire on July 22, 1944. It came in force in December 27, 1945. Now we'll discuss about the mandates or objectives of IMF. One of the important objectives of IMF is to promote international monetary cooperation and providing a platform to all the member nations. The second objective is to facilitate expansion and balanced growth of international trade. The third objective is to promote foreign exchange stability and to maintain orderly exchange arrangements among members. Fourth objective is to make available resources of IMF temporarily to member nations under adequate safeguards. It also supports member nations in shortening the duration and disequilibrium of balance of payment problems. Now in the next section we'll deal about briefly the functions of IMF. The first function is surveillance over members' economic policy. Surveillance means having an eye on member nations' economic policies. The economic policies of member nations should be consistent with the objectives of IMF. The second function is financing temporary balance of payment needs. When the member nations are facing balance of payment problems, temporary respite is provided by IMF. Such lending is in the context of economic adjustment program implemented by the borrowing country to correct the balance of payments difficulties. The third function of IMF is combating poverty in low income countries. For this purpose, concessional loans are provided by IMF to low income countries. The next function is mobilizing external financing, which means IMF supports member nations in getting finances and loans from third party financiers and banks. The third party institutions rely on IMF endorsement of a country's economic policies, or even they require formal IMF supported economic programs so that they can finance the member nations. The next function of IMF is strengthening the international monetary system. As IMF is the central institution in the international monetary system, it collaborates with members and play an advisory role in their monetary and financial matters. The next function is increasing the global supply of international reserves. The IMF is authorized to issue international reserve asset called the special drawing right, in short, which is known as SDR. These SDRs are part of net international reserves of members, which is to be kept with IMF and can be exchanged for convertible currencies. The next function is building capacity through technical assistance and training. Technical assistance and training are provided in the core areas of IMF expertise to help member countries to reduce the risk of possibility of risk of policy failures. These activities are particularly important for developing countries. The next function of IMF is dissemination of information and research. IMF is constantly involved in economic analysis and research of member countries' economic policies and statistical information. The results of research are disseminated through books, academic journals, and working papers, through internet, etc. So dear students, It was the introductory lecture about the IMF. In the coming lectures, we will discuss about its members, its organization, and its policies.